This is Ali Chebani, or as you might know him, Chebbo. Chebbo took the TikTok world by storm with his homemade smash burgers. What started with his iPhone and disastrous burgers.
It's like a rubbish video, like very rubbish. I didn't even know how to edit on the TikTok app. So there was a part where I went to spray mustard, but instead the mustard water came out. And so
has quickly turned into a burger truck, international speaking troops, and an upcoming restaurant. At just 22, Chebbo is on track to be one of the greatest entrepreneurs from the area. Find out how he did it.
What's his name? Notorious.
I was looking at your doing a TikTok stalk, trying to find like the first videos, Instagram stalk.
yeah,
And I came across, I don't know if you've deleted videos, but one of the first ones that's left there on TikTok is making a burger every day until I'm famous.
So that was the first ones that I did. I did post a few videos on TikTok. Are we going?
Yep.
Oh, sorry. I did post a few videos on TikTok before I had a sense of it, where I was like doing like random comedy stuff, because I've always been like not attention seeking, but it feels good, you know, like especially in class and the class clown, all that kind of stuff. So I did post a few comedy videos. They were like pretty embarrassing, so I just deleted them. And then I was like, all right, how can I get famous otherwise? And I saw a friend with the talk box. You know what the talk box is?
Adam?
Yeah.
Yep.
So was in his brother's year in high school, and he was doing a thing, talk box every day until I get 1 million or verified, one of those.
There's 1 million now.
Yeah, so one of those ones. And I was like, oh, okay, that's a pretty smart idea. So I did that. All right, making a burger every day until I get TikTok famous. TikTok famous as in whatever, until I just couldn't be bothered because I didn't want to set a number and like end up going to 3,000. So I gave myself a bit of a out if I wanted to. And so I was doing that every day and started off just with my phone. Didn't know how to use the TikTok app to edit. Like I had no business on social media besides taking like gym photos. That's all.
You're into your gym and stuff before that, eh?
Yeah. Massive into it. I started when I was like 14. Didn't get like massive, but I mean, I did have pretty big numbers, like 180 kilo squat, 120 bench, 190 deadlift.
It's good for you
Pretty
young
good.
age.
Yeah. And I was like light as well, like 73 at the time in year 12. So it was pretty good.
That's like, you must have been training hard and consistent and serious for that.
Yeah.
You don't just get that at that age.
I mean,
with your
genetically,
frame.
I feel like there was a bit of stuff there. But it was just consistency straight up, back to what we were talking about before.
If you could tell like yourself at that stage making those videos and, you know, making a burger until I get famous, if you could go back and tell that person one thing, what would you say?
Enjoy it a bit more. But then again, like, because it was a chore almost, but that's what made it so valuable. So making sure that I got the video out every day, kept myself accountable to the audience and myself. So like there was one time, the most viral video even to date, even after all my camera improvements and cloud virality, all that stuff, the most valuable and the most viral video that I've ever had was me coming home after a work event, after like accounting at midnight. And then I put up the camera. I was like, oh, I just got home from work at midnight. Time to make my burger. And I genuinely did at like 1 a.m. make and eat a burger before going to bed, before showering, whatever. Before going to bed. And that one ended up with like 4 or 5 million views.
Is it real?
Yeah, exactly. It was authentic, you know, people connected with it, but it showed like put in the work and that's it. If I didn't and I chose to, you know, I'll go to sleep, it's one day or whatever.
And you would have had those thoughts in your head.
Yeah, of course, as with anything. As with training, as with anything. But I decided, that's it. I've committed to this thing, I'll do it. And it paid off. And each moment of like, besides that, the videos were still doing all right for where I was. But each moment of virality and like a massive thing, just it's another burst. And TikTok does do that. If you like start a new account, I have noticed that people, they will have a random video go viral. And that's, I think, from the TikTok algorithm to encourage you to create more. So you get a bit more of a push. And it worked for me, of course. I think my 4th video was one of those. And then there was that one. But yeah, you just get hooked to the feeling. You just keep going.
Why burgers? Because at that stage, I'm guessing there was no pop-up stores, no truck.
So this was January 2020.
Yep.
Or February 2020 that I posted the first video.
That's
burgers,
exactly right.
Yeah.
I had the date written down.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, February 2020.
Yeah, so that was it. And I think the first burger pop-up was December 2019. So the pop-up was first. So I already knew my way around burgers. And that was from just making them at home, making them at Macca's. I was there for the Create Your Taste menu. And everyone thinks, oh, Macca's, rubbish burgers, whatever. But the Create Your Taste menu was like, I don't know if it's because it was like just the memory and nostalgia. But those burgers were insane. Like,
Can you refresh what that was?
it was like a new line to Macca's where it was a whole dedicated station. There was a head chef, new sauces like herb aioli, chipotle mayo, all sorts of toppings, fancy whatever. And like each patty wasn't press a button, boom, goes up. It was like you had to put the patty on down, sear it, flip it at the right time, shake at the same time.
And you were working at Macca's?
Yeah, I was working at Macca's from when I was 14, 9 months, as soon as I was legally allowed to. Yeah, so I was in there from 14, 9 months to around 17. And yeah, I was just making burgers there. And even like I wasn't at Macca's just to, flip burgers and get out of there. Like I always had it in me where it's like, all right, I'm going to make a burger. It was that empathy almost for the customer. Like I'm not just going to slap it together and throw it out. It's going to be me making sure that it's nice, even though I'm in the back area and there's like 50 walls between me and the customer. I'm going to make sure it's a nice burger. I feel like that's sort of what's helped me get into this, hospitality industry. But yeah, I've always had that feeling of like, if I'm going to do it well. And because I'm an emotional eater as well, it's like if I get a plate of food and it's not satisfactory or it's not good or whatever, I genuinely like emotionally get upset. I'm sure you might feel the same when anyone watching. Like if a food is not up to standard, I get genuinely upset. So it's like, all right, if I get upset, well, I don't want to put that on someone else.
Are you the type of person to say something?
No. Unless it's like terrible. So there was one time where, I didn't even say something the whole way in Melbourne. Me and two other boys were at this fancy restaurant, hyped up, everyone loved it. And one of the steaks we wanted was sold out. They're like, oh, okay, we'll get you this other steak. I forgot what cut it was. They're like, oh, 9+. I'm like, all right, sweet, we'll pay for it. 9+, by the way, is the
I have no
best.
idea.
So that's like the top Aussie Wagyu you can get at 9+. It goes from 1 to 9, and then Japanese goes from A1 to A5. So it goes 1 to 9, and then A1 to A5. And that's like Japanese A1 to A5. Aussie only goes up to 9. Anyway, so we were getting the 9+, and we waited like an hour for it.
The top range steak.
Yeah, so that's what we ordered. And then we get it, and I've still got photos on my phone. It was like, it didn't even feel like it was Wagyu. Like, and I'm not trying to be a snob here, but if we're paying that top dollar and we're, allegedly getting a 9+ steak and they're lying to us, it's a bit of a shit go, So
yeah.
No, I got.
What's the price range there?
Oh, it was like $3.50 or something. It was a share steak.
Shit. Yeah.
It was to be shared.
Okay.
Because it was like a bigger cut. But yeah, they just say 9+. And I'm looked at this straight away. And it wasn't even cooked right. One side was well done. One side was like blue, which is like worse than rare. So if you guys freak out from rare, yeah, you're not going to like blue.
How do you like it?
If it's not Wagyu, I like it medium rare. If it's Wagyu, I like it rare. Because Wagyu's a bit softer, so you can eat it a bit lighter. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't...
It sounds good.
Yeah, it's not a chewing fest. It's nice. It's very nice. But yeah, we got the steak, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, this is not Wagyu at all. So I called her over. I'm like, are you sure this is Wagyu? Like, can you go ask the chef?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was like proud of myself.
That's
and
ballsy.
Smallest question. I was like, oh, okay, sweet. And then she comes back and she's like, yes, I can guarantee. Like in a pretty like sassy attitude as well. And then I was like, look, I can say something and carry on, but I was just like, oh, whatever. And then I posted on my Instagram as like a little, oh, they tried to rip me off.
Make you feel better.
Yeah, exactly. And then I deleted it after. I was like, oh, I feel bad. Like, I didn't name and shame. But I was like, this restaurant.
Yeah.
I didn't say the name, but I was like, this place I went to. So
yeah, I actually had Macca's today.
I was going to. How'd you go?
Bro, how can't you? With these November deals, honestly, you're leaving money on the table by not.
It's like $2 McChicken. What was it today?
Today was like a $6 something, small quarter pounder meal with a cheeseburger.
Yeah, and that's like solid value.
Bro, it's like a waste of money if you don't get it.
Yeah, so, I don't even think they're making money on it, or unless they rely on you to get size, but like it's solid
I don't.
stuff.
I
get your money, that's it.
But talking about being ballsy, insane stuff, when I walked past you at Punch Bowl, because that was our first interaction. I walked past you, and I've been to your pop-up store before, my little cousin, because a long time ago.
Yeah. Was it the tent or the trailer?
The gazebo, the tent.
Oh, wow.
Long time ago.
Those are rough.
I think that's when you popped off on TikTok.
Yeah, so that was when we started doing it weekly from TikTok.
Yeah, and I didn't even have TikTok at that time, but my little cousin was like, oh, this guy Chebbo. Little kids on TikTok at that time, they're on it 24/7.
Yeah. Every week I'm taking photos of them.
And I walked past you, Punch Bowl, and I was like, oh, I swear that's the burger guy. And I've always wanted to have you on the podcast, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to suck it up, turn around, stop him.
Yeah.
Bro, that was like a freaking...
No, I still remember it because I had my AirPods in and I thought you said something else. And I said like a completely different answer to what you asked. there was like a 5-second pause. I'm like, oh shit, bro.
I don't even know. I can't remember what I
Nah,
said because
I remember I was like, oh, bro, I'm so awkward, but no,
I hate stopping people in public.
Yeah.
But it's actually good.
No,
That's
no,
what it
I
turned
don't
out to.
mind. Yeah.
A good work like that. So you get stopped like that a lot?
Yes. There's like the stop and chat. There's like the double takes. This is like sounds crazy as well because I'm like, from the area.
Yeah.
And then
I
there's
just gave away your shopping spot.
yeah, that's it, man. Oh no, I'll frequent another one, so it's between the two. But yeah, no, there's the stop and talk, which I always love. I don't mind. And there's the double takes, and there's the worst one, just like take photos. Like, wow, there was one person at the gym. Obviously, I didn't say anything. I was like recorded while I was doing a set. I was like, it's annoying.
Yeah.
But like it is what it is. Part of the price to pay,
Mm-hmm.
of like having a platform.
So you started with the you said the pop up was at the gazebo.
Yeah.
What
and
made you start that?
I didn't have any money for the trailer. I was like, oh sweet, because I heard a friend was doing it at markets and stuff.
Yeah.
Out of a tent, I was like, all right, sweet, low cost of entry. I can trial it out, see how I go. If I enjoy it, I'll take it further. If not, and it goes rubbish, then I'll sack it. And so that was a good MVP. MVP is minimum viable product for anyone in the audience who doesn't know. So yeah, it was a good MVP, and we ran with that, and we started doing it weekly.
We as in just you
me
and
the
supporting
team.
cast?
No, me and the team, yeah,
Okay.
like friends and family that were working for me. And yeah, so I was doing the original pop-up starting in 2019 monthly, and that was just meant to be for side money, whatever. But then when TikTok started,
Monthly as in
just like once a month, just
Oh, wow.
side money and for fun, because I was working corporate at the time, and I wanted to mix it up. Like I would have lost my mind in corporate, so this was a good way to have
How
something
old
else
were
to
you?
flex on. 2019, so 19, I'm 2000 baby.
so am I.
Yeah, there you go, both young.
That's pretty like bold to start at a young age.
Yeah, I just didn't really think of it. Everyone's like, oh, at this age. I'm like, well, why does it matter? Like, I think the only benefit that I have versus everyone else my age, even like amongst my friends, is like they're all going out and this and that. I'm like, I don't really care for it. And like, obviously, I love having fun and going out and all that stuff, but I have the willpower to stay home and focus on what I'm meant to do as opposed to what I want to do. And I have a good grasp of like, eat shit now and
Yeah.
bored
Yeah,
later.
I think the younger the better. And
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It's rare to think like that.
Less
Like I was
commitments.
saying, the guy that owns this spot, I remember at 17, we were in our Lebanon footy camp and a bunch of 17-year-old Lebo boys sleeping in the same room, right? The conversations that are
Yeah.
going on. And I look up at the bunk bed and Matt's fucking laptop out, editing photos from a wedding.
Yeah, there you go. And you can spot them straight away. Like, it's just built from a different
Yeah.
cut of
different
grass.
cloth, yeah.
Cloth, not grass. But yeah, no, there are people like that. It's the willingness and ability to say no to the short-term pleasure for the long-term.
Did you have a surrounding environment of business or like, you
Not
know,
really.
was that, where'd you get that from?
I don't know. I just enjoyed working. Like,
I guess you started at Macca's at a young age
started
as well.
because even like when I was younger, I'd bribe my dad because I was like a pretty chubby kid, so I would bribe him to give me $10 every time I worked out. I'd like cut the grass for money. It wasn't like the pure like entrepreneurial kid, but it was like I enjoyed making money. It was fun, and I was like itching to go to work. The work, I wouldn't say entrepreneurial and business side of me was in my environment, but I would say the work ethic and that comes from my dad, like just working 24/7.
That's a Lebanese
Yeah, it's
traditional, yeah.
Yeah, like came here with nothing, immigrant, and then working hard. I guess that's where I got it from. And then the cooking side comes from my mum, so it's a good recipe. But with regards to the entrepreneurial side, that's just like externally. Like I do have a bit of tendencies of like fun and business and all that stuff, but a lot of it's just research,
Seeked it
podcasts. Yeah, exactly. There's only so much you can do yourself,
Yeah.
and so yeah, just listening to podcasts and all that stuff.
So you're in the gazebo, the tent, pop up once a month, started TikTok.
Yeah.
Did it pop off from there? Was that
Yeah,
pretty
pretty
surreal?
much. First 3 videos didn't do much at all, and I told myself before I started as well. I heard Mr. Beast say my 200th video popped off, whatever, and I was getting this before then. So I told myself, all right, I'm gonna make 200 videos and not expect any results. And if it works out, it works out. And luckily, by my 4th video, it went viral. Like I was saying before with the TikTok algorithm, and so it's like a rubbish video, like very rubbish. I didn't even know how to edit on the TikTok app. So there was a part where I went to spray mustard, and I recorded it. But instead, the mustard water came out. And so I didn't know how to
I hate
delete
when
it.
that happens.
Yeah, exactly. It's like gross. And so I'd sprayed it and I didn't know how to delete the clip. So I was just like, all right, I'll record another one. So take one, there's mustard. Take one, mustard water. Take two, mustard. Just continued, posted it, and went to bed. Woke up with like 440,000 views.
Wow, what a
And
feeling.
yeah, no, it was insane. I was like, what is this? Because that was as well when TikTok was like
Early.
new. Like,
Yeah.
no one was on there besides like Charlie D'Amelio and stuff. And even, I think at that time, she was like 2 million followers.
Starting TikTok early is like investing in
Bro,
freaking Uber early.
It was like the smartest move I ever did. And as well, it was like, it's not like, I just got in early. It's like, a lot of people were like talking down, like, oh, you're on TikTok.
yeah,
and make
I didn't have
dances.
it because
Yeah.
I was, prideful and it's just for dancing.
Yeah, that's what I was as well. Literally, like, I got it in January.
What
But,
made
like,
you post?
just after virality, and I don't know, for a laugh, like it was so appealing. I don't know, but I'd seen my sister on it during her year 12 year, which was the 2019, and they were talking about it, her and her friends. I was like, whatever, dance app. I got hooked, and then a month later posted, and the fourth video took off, and all the comments were filled with like, oh, mustard water, but I didn't care. I was just like,
Any comments?
Psych.
Good comment.
yeah, exactly. It helps
yeah.
with the algorithm. I don't intentionally do things, but I am not very detail oriented. So in videos, I'll forget, like the Aussie burger that I did for the Burger Around the World series. I literally genuinely forgot to put an egg in the burger. And every single comment is like, where's the egg? Where's the egg? Oh, blah, blah. Like all these like angry Aussies asking where the egg is. And like, fair enough, they have a right to be upset. And it sort of helps me that they're commenting for the algorithm. But that was just like an unintentional thing that just worked out in my favor.
Yeah. I was going to say, I was watching those early videos, and one thing that stuck out to me is how back then, when you had no experience doing that stuff, you're holding the thing, you're holding the camera with your phone and doing it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, fuck, that's come a long way.
Bro,
and now
it
you
was
got
so
the
easy.
tripod and the lighting.
Yeah, and like the camera setup was like $5,000, I think.
Wow.
Which is very expensive.
It's a good investment. But
Yeah, no, I look at that before. I was like, what do photographers spend that much? But like, it works out.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like back then, it was that easy to film a video. I would like film the video while I'm making the burger, and then while I'm eating the burger, edit it in iMovie and post. So the turnaround time was like half an hour. Now it's like, and it was like simple burgers as well, like lettuce, tomato, onion, all that stuff. Now the process is like, especially for this Burger Around the World series, I have to do like 2-3 hours of research, maybe more sometimes, to come up with a burger that's like culturally appropriate. And then going to shops, sourcing ingredients, because obviously not everything's available somewhere. I got, for the Samoan burger, I had to go to past Livo for some ingredients to get taro and all that stuff. And yeah, so the shopping for ingredients and the setup, filming usually takes, especially because now I'm being a bit more elaborate with the burgers, 4-ish hours on average.
Wow.
And then sitting down to edit, probably like 2 to 3 hours. It's like a 10-hour.
Because you're going through
process
so
for one
much
video.
footage and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't have someone filming and editing for me, so like I'll
Amen.
have to go run around the camera. Yeah, you do it as well. It's hard, man. And so I have to go run around the camera, line up the shot, make sure I tap focus, run around, do the thing, come around, make sure it was focused, because there's so many times where I've either not hit record or it's been out of focus. It's like,
And then you get
everything.
throw in SD card problems,
Yeah,
sound
don't get me started on
problems.
that, yeah. And like, yeah, sometimes the microphone's not plugged in and it's just rough the whole way. There's a lot of stuff like that. But for now, it's part of the process. Gotta learn to enjoy it.
How surreal was it when you started popping off on TikTok and you started seeing a lineup at your pop-up stores?
It was pretty crazy. So the first weekend that we popped up, I was from my driveway. I think we did no more than 100 burgers in 2 days. So it's 50 burgers a night, maybe even less. So that was like, I was like, oh, that's pretty good. You know, if we do this every week, I could make a couple $1,000. And then each week it grew and grew and grew and grew. So that was around February or that was March. The pop-up was from my house. By March, April, June, July. By June, July, we're doing like 300 a night burgers. It was like, so each week it was
It's growing and growing.
growing and selling out, growing and selling out, growing and selling out. Because I'd order more from the last week prior, and I'd be like, oh, this is a lot of stock. We probably won't order more than, like, we won't, sell more than this.
Trying to forecast.
Yeah, exactly. And then boom, because we like to do everything fresh on the day. So it's a balance between ordering fresh on the day and not having any stock wastage and leftover. Obviously, because throwing out food and money wastage. So it's a very fine line, and we've gotten better at it now. We set out probably like once a month, maybe 2 times, I'd say max.
Sell out?
Yeah, like set out.
Yeah.
Sorry, because it is a rough feeling. Like someone's excited. You see them walking up. Sorry, man, we're sold out. And turn away. They have to get Macca's down the road. Yeah,
Competitors.
I'll let them have it, man. It's our fault for selling out, but yeah, it is a bit rough sometimes.
So then you went from the gazebo to the truck.
Yes, the first trailer. So at that time, I was like, there was only so many burgers you can cook from Bunnings Barbecue, you know? I was like, I need something with better equipment, better facilities, whatever. And so I had a friend of a friend who had a kebab food trailer who I knew they weren't using. So I needed something to turn around ASAP. If I were to order a food trailer by myself, it would have taken another 3 months, which I did not have. So I hit him up. We arranged the purchase. I bought that food trailer, fit out as a kebab shop, sent it back to the person who manufactured it. He fixed it up as a burger one, so grills and flat tops for the smash burgers, all that stuff. And we were rolling from probably around 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks after purchasing it. And then that one we rode until like last week, where now we've upgraded the truck.
How does that feel when, like, he's fitting out the trailer for you? Do you allow yourself like time to soak it in and be like, what the fuck? Like, we're really doing this. This is like that's a big step.
It is, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm numb to it or like I just really haven't sat down because I'm always like doing instead of I do reflect a fair bit, which is nice, but I'm so scared of getting complacent.
Yeah.
So because it is, I'm very like prone to it. So I don't allow myself to really get high off the achievements that I've had in fear that I'll think that's enough and then let our foot off the gas and then, you know, because I am by nature an extremely lazy person, like dead set, very lazy, and training and working hard and all that stuff helps me keep on top of it. But yeah, I should be great. Like I am grateful. Sorry, I am grateful.
Mm-hmm.
I should reflect more and like sit down and soak it up. But at the moment, like, it is what it is. Like, I'm still very happy for everything, but yeah.
You're just going with it.
Yeah, exactly, going with it. And like, every time I do something great, it's like, I'll celebrate in that moment. All right, sweet, what's next?
Yeah. How can I get better?
Yeah, exactly, you know. Always looking to get better. Even every video that I do, I'm trying to get better, 1%, and then it will compound.
I saw you got the brick and mortar at Marrickville.
Yeah.
That's not open yet, is it?
Nah, we've had a lot of issues with that council and fit out and all that stuff. And that's just because of inexperience. Like, I didn't want to go with a proper builder company because they would have charged me like $300,000-$400,000. It's a small store.
Yeah.
So try to do it ourselves, and obviously it's led to a lot more time in the process. I am lucky the rent there is not cheap. It's not expensive. Sorry, It's pretty cheap. So even though we have been paying for rent, it's still a punch in the guts to pay rent for something you're not using. But
it's going to be worth it.
Yeah, it's going to be worth it, and we're learning. So this one, obviously, it took a while. We signed them lease in March. I'm going to estimate January opening, but not too sure. But yeah, so hopefully this one will get sorted soon enough, and then we'll be good enough by the next store to be everything much smoother.
What influenced that? Because I always thought it might be better to just have the truck because ongoing rent and stuff like that.
That's what everyone says. And I was like that as well until I realized that there are places you can get very cheap rent. And for a food truck, you're paying between 100 to 150, sometimes even more a night. A night just for rent. And so if you're popping up 4 nights at $600 a week, and you can get some decent places for $600 a week, sometimes even a bit more. And what I realized with the food truck is one of the Ramadans that I traded, the more hours that we open, the more customers we get. So if we're at this spot, we're limited by council from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m.
At this food truck spot?
Yeah, at the current one. And that allows us to fill in that much with customers. When we're at another spot doing Ramadan until midnight, we realized the more hours just allowed more people to come in. And as well, we have pretty long lines because our grills can only cook so fast, and we have a lot of people come in just between that small window. And so the rationale behind the store is more time for people to come in, more sales, I guess. Because, we have a lot of people that love the food, love the brand. And there was the fear of like, once it's not like a weekend hype thing, it'll fail. Like, how rubbish is my business if I have to rely on you can only get us on the weekend, you know?
Yeah.
So I really wanted to legitimize the brand and have a store there and then go from there. Because I look at Chubby Buns and I'm not trying to hate on them, but like, I feel like a store allows us to do so much more and grow much bigger. Being a business that's built on trucks is not something that I want to really go for.
You want to expand and...
Yeah, exactly. That's where the real growth is. I mean, yeah, food trucks are cool because you can move them around, but at the end of the day, they're only temporary in a way and like good for making money in the short term. But how do you really grow and scale? You develop roots in the areas and communities and really set your foot down.
Is there a franchise or a business that you kind of are taking the blueprint from or see as like a good influence?
In America, Shake Shack I really like. If anyone's familiar with Shake Shack, they do smash burgers. They're very, very good. Quality, branding wise and everything. And they started off with like one location in America, New York. And I've listened to the founder story like a million times. It's really inspiring how they started off focusing on hospitality. Like obviously great product. That's the same as us. Great product, but what can you do above that? So great hospitality. Your server memorizing people's names, their orders, really establishing a connection with them. And that's how you build people who come every week. And that's where your growth is. There's a saying
It's like that 80-20
yeah,
rule.
that's what I was about to say. So 80% of your sales come from...
I was talking to my sister. My sister has a kids
lost
clothing
it, yeah.
business, right? And she's talking about how the new direction she wants to move in instead of trying to grow and wholesale and stick to her thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is 80-20 rule. And I went to say
What
it.
is
And
it?
I was like, hold on.
80% of your sales come from 20% of your customers.
That's it.
Yeah.
If you focus on that 20 core customers,
They're going to be 80% of the way. And obviously there are people that'll come once a week. Like they'll come out a week and try it. And they will love it still, but they won't be routine. But we have so many people who come literally weekly, twice a week. I got a guy, shout out to Lockie. If you see this, I've shouted him out plenty of times before, but he's been coming for over a year now from Wollongong every single week, minimum once a week
wow,
from Wollongong. This guy's fried, but
that's
he
dedication.
loves it. Yeah, no, he loves it. And that's what it is, focusing on that community. And yeah, so Shake Shack, they started off well, hospitality, had great service, all that kind of stuff. But then that's all right when you have 1 or 2 stores. But now they've managed to do that across the entire world, literally. They're pretty much in like, I want to say over 15 countries, and like you can still get the same Shack burger at every single one of them. And everyone's like, oh, Macca's, they're great, you can get the same fries and same burger everywhere. But like, that's like you press a button, it smashes it down. It's like one of those clamshell ones, which is like zero effort. Everything's done by timers. At Shake Shack, it's still a smash burger, so you still got to smash it, and there's a bit of like craft and technique to it. And obviously the product is much better. So you can try a Shake Shack in London or Abu Dhabi or America, and it will still taste the same, and you still get that good service. And that's something that I've modeled after, because like I don't ever say we have the best burgers, even though I low-key believe we do. I don't publicize it or anything, because the best burger is a commodity. Like someone can come out tomorrow, 10 people can come out tomorrow with a better burger and then take the title of best burgers, and then my whole ethos falls apart. Why would I focus on being the best burger, which is something so commoditized, when I can be your favorite place to get a burger? So even if someone better opens up, but their service is shit and they don't really care about you, where Chebbo's is still your favorite because we all say hi to you. The service is friendly. Sometimes smack you with extra sauce. Like it's more than just a burger. Yeah, exactly, the brand.
What I was going to say is, I feel like we think alike in a little bit of our research, and when you like something, or you're talking about Shake Shack and listening to the founder's story a million times, like, and then you mentioned Mr. Beast as well.
Yeah.
Are you going to take that, because he's got the Beast Burger shop now, are you going to take that approach where you can sell merch and things like that as well?
Yeah, merch will definitely be in the stores. But with the Mr. Beast one, I feel like his model isn't really one I'd take, because it was more like franchise, get everywhere and make a bit of money off each one.
But in terms of the store experience, with your store that's coming out?
Sort of. I mean, at the first one, there will be merch available, but then there's I want to say dilemma as the word, but feel free to use whatever you want. It's like, I want to sort of put a line between Chebbo's burgers and Chebbo, the personality. And I sort of have already with the business structure and all that stuff. So like, there's Chebbo, the guy who makes burgers on TikTok, recipe videos, the personality, on media, all that stuff. And then there's Chebbo's burgers, the business. Obviously, my name's in the business, so you can't really draw too much of a line.
You want it to outlive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like, even whenever I'm talking about the business, I say Chebbo's, even though I'm literally like Chebbo. It's like, I'm going to go down to Chebbo's, or she came down to Chebbo's. Like, speak about it like that. I feel like it'll allow a bit better for growth, and as well, business is very emotional. Like, there'll be times when, let's say, we'll make 300 burgers a night, and one of them will come out not up to standard, and we'll get a bad review because of it. Let's say, I don't want to be emotionally tied to it from my end. So it's not even about the customer side. It's like, I don't want to be like, because it's a condition of business. You can't be 100% with everything.
Mm.
So I want to have a bit of that separation, but we'll see how it goes. Like it's a thing that I'm always toying on, playing on.
What's the long-term goal
Business or
in
personal?
terms of business?
Ideally within the next, it's hard. It's always hard to predict. You never know what opportunities come up. You know, an investor might approach me tomorrow and be like, "Look, I'll give you this much money and you can put stores here."
Life-changing money.
Yeah, exactly. So you never know. But ideal situation, I do want a few in Sydney and one in each city, because it would be nice to meet all the people who've supported me, followed me from all around the country, to be able to have a place where they can go for a good burger. But yeah, monetarily wise, I don't really mind. Like I'm not one that like lives a lavish lifestyle. I'm not really too fast, but yeah, from business side, just from the growth, I do want one in the country, and then obviously international if possible. But we'll see where that goes.
What about personal?
Personal, I just want to be like healthy and happy and doing well. Like nothing too fancy. Like I was always a bit frugal with money, and then now that when I started making a bit more, I actually got a bit like fat because I realized all I like is food, and so it's like, all right, I'm not limited by my budget, so I was getting like eating out every day, drive through every day, and then obviously that died out, and I got myself back under control. But yeah, personally, I just want to have good health, friends, family, like very, very simple, fundamental stuff. Like it sounds cliche, but it is what it is. That's all I really care about. Because yeah, especially this year, I copped COVID, like long COVID, started the year, and I've been sick constantly since. Fatigue. I just had a blood test today, trying to figure out if there's anything more. So it is really humbling, where it's like, all right, I've just done all this stuff, but now I'm in bed and I'm like struggling to get up because I'm sick.
So that means nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So it really puts it into perspective. And like with money as well, I'm not saying I'm a millionaire or whatever, but like once you make a certain amount where you don't really, where there's no more pressure from bills, it's like, it doesn't really feel much better to add more. You get me? So I just want to reach a state where I'm not really feeling pressure from bills and all that stuff. And then obviously if it comes, but like not really going to chase the dollar sign or another zero in the bank account too much. Because I know it's like a spiral that people, you know, die going down upon. So once you've got that taken care of, once I've got that taken care of, you know, just focus on family and
Everything else kind of like a cherry on top.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, very fundamental, simple stuff, and that's how I think everyone should live their life. Get their priorities straight. Yeah, it's good to hustle and grind and whatever, but put an end goal on it. If you want to take over the world with your business, go for it, but not at the expense of anything else or anyone else. You know, don't neglect your wife, your kids. You know.
Talking about health, so you started doing these videos February 2020, right?
Yes.
How many burgers do you reckon you've eaten since then?
Eaten since then?
Because each video ends with you taking a bite of the burger you just made.
Yeah.
Do you finish them?
I've finished all except for one, which is like a Nutella donut.
Like
burger.
you've actually finished all except for one?
Yeah, pretty much.
No cap?
Yeah, I genuinely feel bad if I leave the food, and they're all pretty nice. Yeah,
So if you had to throw a number out there.
I forgot what number I said last time, because if we're counting burgers I've made, I think easy over 100,000, especially like behind the truck.
Holy
Especially
shit.
this year, I think we've sold a fair bit. But but since then, made over 100,000. Eaten, I would say over 2,000. Because there are days as well when I'm working, I'll have one before, one after the shift.
How many days is that? 2 years, really? 3 years.
Yeah, almost 3 years. So that's around what?
That's like average 2 burgers a day.
800 days. No, almost, I'd say one a day with the exception of more.
Far out.
Yeah, we're 800 days in.
Has that taken a toll on your health, you reckon?
It did, but then it did because when gyms closed for COVID as well, I was just eating, and then we'd have Duo ice cream next to us popping up as a food truck, and they sell fried ice cream, donuts, ice cream. So I would have a burger, chips, smack some fried ice cream, smack a donut, and it did pack on. Like I peaked at most of my life. I wouldn't, as big and shredded as I got, I would always stay at 73 kilos.
That's light.
Yeah, very light, because like I had small bones, small waist, whatever. And I peaked at 84 kilos, I think a few months ago, at like the peak of it. And I was like, all right, this needs to stop. So pretty much I cut out a lot of the oils and stuff, a lot of processed foods. Now I'm mainly doing like steaks.
In your diet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the diet's cleaned up a lot, and now I'm sitting at 77 kilos. So it's pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. Obviously, I don't have as much muscle as I did before, because I'm doing more BJJ now instead of like the bodybuilding stuff. But yeah, I do feel better and feel lighter. And you can flexibly diet, but you just got to watch out what you're eating, because I personally don't react well to carbs. if I have a lot of carbs, and even if I can fit a KFC meal into my macros, like I'll just die on the couch an hour later and like knock out, like go sleep. So you gotta pay attention to what you eat and how you eat. But yeah, I was a big fan of like I'll be working out once, sometimes twice a day. I can fit in a fair bit of like burgers and chips and stuff to compensate.
How much BJJ are you doing? How much a week? How many sessions?
4, give or take 1.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Because
Wow.
I'm not really working out in the gym anymore. I'll get in like max once or twice a week. And so it's good because it's 1 hour and like I just have to show up there and the rest takes care of itself. Because like you're not just going to let someone strangle you, you know.
Exactly,
you fight
yeah.
back. Your body like fights back. So that's been good because as well it's like it's a good way to pull away from everything else. Like at the gym, I'll have my phone on me. I'll be listening to music. I'll get a call. I'll get a message. I'll be thinking about stuff. But like BJJ, it's good because you have to pay attention to the technique. And then when rolling, you have to pay attention to your partner. Otherwise, you know, it's hard to think about stress and other stuff when someone's literally like trying to kill you.
It's an escape.
Yeah,
What
exactly.
got you into it?
A friend who was talking some mad shit. So he's blue belt.
What do you?
White belt, 2 stripes. So still pretty new.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was just talking mad. He's been doing it for 6 years. He's talking mad shit always, every day. I was like, you know what? Sack you. I'm just gonna go join. And then me and my other friend, we joined, and yeah,
I love it, bro.
I rolled with him today. I did better than I have ever been against him. But yeah, one day
You
I'll
do
attack
gi,
him.
yeah?
Yeah, gi. I've done a bit of no gi, but I feel like gi's a bit better, more technical. No gi's too slippery.
Yeah.
Everyone gets sweaty, and the mats
Like
are all like
kind of like a different.
yeah,
type,
exactly.
like-
Everyone's like, oh, you know, no gi's better because it's more realistic. But like no gi, everyone's sitting like this, and everyone's just naked and slippery. It's like you would never have those same conditions unless you're like in a sauna with someone, you know.
Yeah.
Gi replicates clothes pretty much. So if someone's got a pant leg, you can
So
grab
many
that.
different techniques, but
Yeah, exactly. So it's good. It's like a chess almost, but when you first start, every move is a pawn for you. Pawn, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the one that moves one.
Yep.
And then other people might have a rook or might have a
Yeah.
whatever, the castle in there.
They're just 2 steps ahead of you.
Yeah, exactly. But then the more sessions you go to, all right, your rook has just now turned into a bishop.
Yeah.
You get more movement around the thing. And then black belts, they'll have every piece as a queen.
Yeah.
So it's a good way to explain it.
Are you into MMA?
Yes, but I'd still be considered a casual. Like I watch what's on almost weekly, but like names and stuff, I don't have the mental. I haven't really put in much effort to memorize names and records and all that stuff. But if it's good, I'll pay attention.
You watched the fight that just happened, obviously. Izzy and
Yes,
Adesanya?
I was so happy. I hate Adesanya.
Really?
Yeah, he's just too cocky. It's like the way he talks about like
Are you Muslim?
yeah,
You know Alex
Her,
Perez
yeah,
Muslim,
right, yeah. Yes, I was happy on that side, but yeah, just as well, Izzy's just annoying, and it was so good to see him humbled. Like a few of his other fights that he's fought, he did. Obviously, you got to play safe, play a bit boring, and play defensive, because he's defending. But yeah,
I think
Like
the
to see him.
opposite, bro. I think the other people were scared to bring the fight
was
to
it him
Like,
versus Romero?
yeah, come on, Romero, bro.
Yeah,
This is
that
your
one
one
was that
shot
one
at
was
the
silly,
title.
and he was just standing there like
And Romero never fights like that.
yeah,
And then Whitaker too. Like Whitaker looked like he
Yeah.
was scared to lose more than he wanted to win.
it was.
And then the other guys just didn't want what happened to Whitaker to happen to. I actually like. Leading up to this fight, I thought I kind of want Izzy to lose, and then I listened to his podcast, listened to him talk, and I'm like, you know what? Like I want him to shut everyone up because he is great.
To be honest, I haven't really heard the podcast. I've just seen clips.
I get
of
deep
him.
into it.
Yeah.
Like we'll say with Marvel, if anything, you can get deep into it.
Yeah.
But regardless, they're just crazy athletes.
Oh, it's
And
insane.
Perez, as soon as he touches you, you're gone.
Yeah, he's just, bro. The bloke's like a
He's scary, man.
yeah, like no emotion, just a brick, bro.
He's scary.
And the way he like, because I thought he was done, and then the way he came back in the end, I was like, oh sweet.
They just need to touch you clean,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you're gone.
But it was a good feeling. But now as well from Adesanya's side, he's now got a chance to comeback story and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
it's like a movie.
Yeah, so we'll see. But it is so funny to see that he's being haunted,
Yeah,
like changing sports and still getting dominated. I think that 100% was like killing him in his mind.
and it has to.
Yeah, the only man to have knocked him out, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's played it off like respectfully and humbly, like as he should. Well, a lot of people wouldn't actually, but
Yeah.
it has to eat you.
Yeah, no, it does. It's like the kid that bullied you in high school. If he comes back and even if you're a professional MMA fighter, black belt, whatever,
Yeah.
there's still gonna be that part of your mind that's a scared little kid that just got beat up, and Yeah, it's interesting, the mind games behind it.
It's the best sport right now, I'd say.
Yeah, no one else is doing it better. Rugby league's I'm getting back into it.
Yep.
I didn't touch it from like 2015. Just because I don't know.
It kind of died out a bit.
Yeah. But now I feel like with the social media and like all of the influencers involved, like the John Bernard and all that stuff, it's reviving again. But yeah.
Do you
so
have
I've
much
seen it.
time for hobbies apart from your BJJ and your gym training?
Not really. I mean, at this point in my life, anything that I do is eating out of something else. Hobbies, I want to say gaming, but like I played last night, New Warzone, and the night before, and it just ate into my sleep. And today I was just so out of it. And like that's something that even though I enjoy and I like to do, I shouldn't really be doing. And it's something that I got to
Play with your friends?
Yeah. So it is a mad laugh, but like it just eats into sleep, and I like to not have any screen time before bed. So it's not as productive. But yeah, besides that, I have a good routine where it's like wake up in the morning, admin, do some whatever computer work, and then film a video, edit the video maybe if I have time, jiu-jitsu, and then after jiu-jitsu I hang out with the family or what else, edit a video maybe, or just watch a show, but not too much goes on after I train because I don't want to like overload myself. But yeah, I like that routine. Like everyone's like, oh, don't you see friends? Oh, sorry, to go back to your question, I have no social life.
No.
No, pretty much. The only time I see my friends are at jiu-jitsu, which is pretty, like, we honestly don't mind. Even
That's a good bonding place.
yeah, exactly. Like, we'll see each other, we'll catch up there after class, before class, but it's productive as well. It's not like, we're dressing up, we're going out, we're taking Ubers, we're doing this, we're doing that. It's like
Seeing each other and a chance to improve yourself as well.
exactly. It sounds a bit boring. People might listen to this,
I
like,
love
freak
PJJ.
out, but yeah, bro, it's simple.
I wish I could. I really want to try and fit in, like, find a gym, fit in the time. But I know it's one of those things, like, if I start, I'm going to want to do 3 nights a week.
Yeah.
Uh,
Look, I would say, personally, I don't think it's worth going 2 nights, but if you can commit to 3 nights a week, that's all you need. Because there was a time period when I was like getting sick and stuff. I was only doing it once a week or twice a week. Wasn't really improving much, but once I got back up to speed, it was like much better. But yeah, hobbies, not really. Like back when shows were on, I'd have a show that I'd watch once a week after training. But yeah, I don't really mind. Besides that, it's like, because there's always, with social media, there's always more you can do. There's always another video you can do. There's always another video you can edit.
Endless.
There's always more you can engage in your comments and your DMs. And that's already suffering. Like, I'm the worst.
Especially when you get to this stage of a platform.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like the more you put in, the more you get out.
Bro, your Instagram is growing rapidly right now.
I
followed you and you were about 30K.
Yeah.
And then
Probably would have been less, bro.
a couple days later, you're like, thanks for 30, thanks
Yeah.
for 40, thanks for 50.
Bro, I'm
Now
at 72 now. Yeah.
I swear last time I looked 65. I'm
That's
like,
the
what's
thing,
going on
bro.
here?
It was so fried because Instagram has always lacked for me. And for, honestly, I would say a year, I was at 18.7K, that exact number. I'd gain some, lose some, gain some, lose some. And I was honestly going to give up on Instagram, but I was like, you know what, just keep going.
It's making a push now, eh? I keep
Yeah,
seeing the
bro.
same people on my Explore.
Yeah, so it's really rewarding you if you just keep posting.
Yeah,
So
you have to
eventually,
put, 3-4 times a week.
exactly, which is what I'm doing now, and it's paid off. So the first video that went viral was the Aussie Burger one. I was like, all right, sweet, I've got some traction now, finally. And I just doubled down on it, bang, 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 uploaded a few more videos. And now I went from like 10K average views per reel to like 50K. And yeah, now I've got the momentum, time to double down and make sure I'm getting it. It has taken a bit of steam away from my TikTok page, which sounds a bit silly because it's like, I do technically have time for both, but on mine, because the viral is now on Instagram, I want to double down on that and milk it while it's going hot, and then try to spread it back.
Has it been your content strategy? Try something new. If it pops off, go with it.
Yeah, because there was a time period before this new World Burger series that it was a bit of a content slump. Like, I didn't know what I was doing, didn't know what to do, what to make, just making videos, like recipe videos, random stuff that I feel pop off. And it was a bit disheartening because there was a time period where like the whole account slowed down, was losing a bit of followers, nothing really was popping off, and then I just kept at it, had the idea for the World Burger series with the map, scratch off, something
Good
that people
timing.
can follow along
Both
with.
World Cups coming up.
Yeah, exactly as well. And so I've just ran with that one, and that's like revived everything. So like now I'm getting international followers. Before it was like mainly Aussie. Now I'm getting international followers on board, and it's really helped to revive my channel and brand and everything. So the takeaway would just be keep at it.
While we're on social media, talk a little bit about like your TikTok partnerships and They flew you out to Singapore.
Yeah. So I can't really say the details. I was meant to, because I was like, oh sweet, this is opportunity with TikTok. But then they told us like midway through the trip, oh, you can't really post. So like I G'd up everyone on Instagram. I was like, oh, I'm gonna tell you guys what I'm doing here, whatever. I'm gonna vlog.
What is it, like a secret event or?
Yeah, an internal event. So I couldn't really.
Oh,
That's
okay.
like all I'm allowed to say. But yeah, flew out to TikTok, flights, accommodation paid for. It was a speaking gig as well. So like, I can call myself now an international speaker, which is pretty insane. Like, I did some debating in high school and like some public speaking and stuff like that, but like to be I don't know, it's just insane, Like,
What were the nerves like going up on the stage? Or?
Honestly, not bad, because when I'm in my element, I'm fine. But if you get me to speak about something I don't really know, then I'll buckle. I like read off for paper, I'll buckle. Not that I'm a shit reader, but like, yeah, if I know what I'm talking about, I can go on for days. So it was good. Like we spoke about the brand and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that was a crazy experience. Because especially I wouldn't have really had time or allowed myself to have the time to go for an international trip. And so they were like, all right, we'll fly you out. And I added a few more days before and after to just go around and live life. And bro, crazy experience.
What was the point where you quit your full-time job or made the decision, I can go full-time with, content creating and Chebbo's?
So the way I set it up in 2020 was I was working from home from Westpac as an intern during the internship from January to July. And I was making the TikToks every day from there. And then I was doing the burgers on Friday and Saturday nights because I was at home 9 to 5. And so as soon as 5 hits, boom, set up the tent.
As soon as 5 hits, or you just
exactly,
leave
bro.
Microsoft Teams on? And
that's what I'm saying. It was so unfulfilling because I'd have all that stuff open and reply to IMs when they gave me, but I was like playing like a League of Legends on the side while
it's like that.
Yeah, it's not fulfilling. So that's how it was, and I was doing that, and then internship ended in June, and then I'd already accepted a job offer from Westpac. Pretty good offer, paying $75K, like
entry level
fresh out of
job.
uni.
It's good.
Yeah, bank as well, 9 to 5, good whatever, good conditions, all that
Good
stuff.
corporate life.
Yeah, exactly.
Routine,
But
safe.
like, not fulfilling. Like,
Not what you wanted to do.
I would count down the hours and minutes until I could go have a break to walk to the break room and make myself a coffee, walk to the bathroom and sit down for half an hour.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of life is that where every day, as soon as you get there, you're counting down the time to leave?
I'm there right now.
Yeah, exactly, bro. It's not fulfilling. I guess this is your escape, but yeah, it's something you want to... Like, there are great corporate jobs out there, and there are jobs that people enjoy, and some people want that life because, like, if you're going to compare that life to this one, there's, like, no clocking off. Like, I've always got to do something.
And it's risky.
Risky as well, especially if you've got, like... so you have a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like you've got mouths to feed. It's not really as easy as jumping off. I'm still at home. I've got no commitments to anyone. Like, I got zero bills besides a phone bill. Like, so everything, I can go full risk right now. For someone like you, it might be a bit harder. And yeah, some people enjoy the corporate life where they can clock off at 5, go home, watch a show, go for a walk, whatever. For me, like, I'll finish work. It's like, all right, what's the next video?
Yeah.
What else have I got to do? So there's no clocking off, which I don't really mind because I'm very like...
It's what you want to do. You're passionate about it.
Passionate about it, and like I enjoy having multiple things on. But yeah, just fulfillment wasn't there. What was the original question?
What was that point where you decided to...
So it was, we got the trailer, and it was probably around October, November that I'd emailed Westpac, hey, I'm not going to be starting with you guys, and we're meant to start in January. So 2 months before I was meant to start the internship, hey guys, sorry, I'm not going to be starting with you guys. I'm feeling pretty, sorry, like I've started this thing, it's gone pretty well.
What a feeling.
Yeah, and it was pretty cool. But like looking back now, it's like I don't think I would have survived at all. Like, I've always been a great worker, great in the workplace, and I've had like millions of jobs. So it's not like I'm, full entrepreneur. I can't have a boss. Like, I work hard, I enjoy it. But like the life I live now, like I would have gone crazy, waking up, putting on my suit, going to the city every single day. Even though I was working from home now, but I didn't know that back then. That was before COVID.
During
COVID. Yeah.
Still, anyway, now you got to go to the office.
Exactly. But yeah, it was good. My parents were a bit iffy about it. They're like, oh, I'll do 2 days there.
Yeah.
I was like, let's say I work 2 days there and get X amount of money. Why don't I just double down and try and make more from Chebbo's? And yeah, it's worked out.
A couple questions before I let you go. What would you say is like the average price of the burgers you have to make in your videos? Because that's what you'd be buying. Like you said, you went past Liverpool for the Samoa burger.
Yeah.
And that's just for like, you got to go buy whole ingredients for one burger.
Yeah.
I'd
So
imagine unless you're making for the family.
Nah, it's literally only for me. They're like sick of it. So each average spend on the burger, I'm going to Coles and Woolies probably around $50. Because it's not like the $500 burger I did.
$500 burger.
Burger that I did. I said this cost me $500 to make. I got nerds in the comments. I'm gonna say nerds. I had nerds in the comments being like, "Oh, but that's 300 grams of wagyu, which cost." I paid for the whole slab of wagyu. I paid for the whole truffle. I paid for the whole bone. Like,
Yeah.
it cost me that much. I'm not gonna sit here and amortize and
Yeah.
Anyway, so it does like the raw ingredients. I have to buy a whole head of lettuce, not just one leaf of lettuce. I have to buy a whole tomato.
Just like
Look,
if
there's
someone was to copy what they were doing, what you were doing,
Yeah.
and they had an empty fridge, this is what they got to go get.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much what I do because each time the burgers are different. Like the Korean burger, we have some Asian ingredients in the cupboard, but like a lot of them I don't have. So yeah, I'd say average $50 per burger, which isn't too much. I mean, if you're going to compare it as a marketing mind, you pay for CPM however much. If I'm paying $50 and then getting 300,000 views, pretty.
I was
fucking good
telling
deal.
this guy that my uncle last night when I was saying, "This is what I've got on. This is what he's doing. Look how many views he's averaging." I can't remember what we were talking about. I was like, talking about how you might make money and the brand deals that you get. I was like, bro, you know these people like you and other people who are averaging these views, how much money they can get off brand deals? Because I do marketing for a corporate company,
Yeah.
and we are willing to pay a lot of money for an ad, and not like an influencer ad, for a Facebook ad, for example, that might get seen by 3,000 people.
Yeah.
How much
bro.
a brand's going to pay to be on a video that gets constantly 400,000 people each
Yeah.
video?
It's insane, bro. And like, that's why part of me says, like, step back from Chebbo's Burgers as a business and double down on the
Personal
personal
brand.
side.
Yeah.
So I have a friend, I'm not going to name them because they probably wouldn't want this going out there, but they sold their business and then to do social media full time. And in 6 months, and then from July this year to December this year, they signed $300,000 worth of brand deals.
Holy shit.
Jeez.
TikToker.
Yeah. TikTok, we do a bit of YouTube and Instagram as well. But that's it. And like
That's in Australia.
Yeah, Australia as well. And so America, you can imagine how many more. And that's like 300,000, boom, straight into your account. Obviously, there's like labor involved, but like labor, what? I'm not going to say it's easy to make videos. It is hard. It's tiring mentally, whatever. But like compared to digging holes, you know?
Yeah.
It's pretty insane. I don't make near that, so disclaimer. I want to.
Can you tax write off those ingredients
Yeah,
and
you
stuff?
can. It's all generated. It's a cost incurred to generate revenue, so technically you can. But yeah, it's like insane. I hit up a brand today, well-known bank. Oh, I should stop there. Anyway, I hit them up for a massive amount, and we'll see what they say. But like,
To sponsor.
so they wanted an ad done.
Okay.
Yeah, so I hit them up for a big amount, and
See how you go.
yeah, see how we go.
Well, they can only give you a counter offer, so
Yeah, exactly. And like, it's at a point now where I don't really want to do ads anymore. It's not like, it's like ads alienate your audience a bit.
Yep.
And so if I don't do the ad, I don't mind. If I do the ad, I want to be compensated accordingly. And so yeah, it's how it is. But it does get pretty ridiculous, like some of the money in there. And I'm charging on the cheaper end. There are some creators out there. It's insane money, bro. Like really crazy. And it's only the start as well. Like think about it. It's 2 years into TikTok, like officially, that it's hit the mainstream.
Australia, I don't think, hasn't even hit the YouTube wave properly.
Yeah, bro. Like there's so much more out there. And so we're barely starting with this whole social media stuff. So
Creator economy and stuff like
yeah,
that.
that's the one. So if I establish myself as the burger niche owner and one of the top foodies in Australia,
OG.
yeah, especially I've already got the OG under my belt as well. If I establish that and carry it forward, then I'm going to be pretty well off. And that's what I got to try and maintain. I was lucky enough to get on TikTok early, and I will say luck, even though like there was a bit of hard work behind it. I would say luck.
luck. Well, have you heard the saying of luck? It's when like oh fuck, here we go, sayings and forgetting sayings.
Yeah.
It's when preparation meets opportunity.
That's the one. So I'd say luck is, it's not exactly random, flip a coin. It's putting yourself in the position to get lucky. So, if I didn't make 200 videos, then I wouldn't have been hit up by this brand to do this. Or if I didn't, dedicate all myself and create a following on TikTok, I wouldn't have been asked to go to Singapore for that opportunity. So putting yourself in the position to be lucky. Because I would say there is an element of luck, but instead of being 1,000,000 to 1, by doing X, Y, Z, I've made it now 5 to 1. You know? So narrowing your chances and working hard to put yourself in those chances to be lucky.
Aussie fast food, top
Yeah.
3 burgers, rank them 1 to 3, 3 to 1.
Burgers,
Burgers only.
the McSpicy, I would say number 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Never had it.
It's very good. It's
That's chicken, spicy chicken.
spicy chicken, but it's like a thigh fillet, and they steam bun the bun, and it's got mayo as well. The only green out is that they put the big square lettuce, so ask for shredded lettuce instead. That's number 1. Straight out Zinger's overrated. That's gonna cause some controversy, but I don't care. I want to say the Bondi Burger's next.
Mm.
Can't go wrong. And then probably the Big Mac.
Big Mac.
Even though I don't order it often, it just hits different, bro. It's like it's your
It's
best
OG.
mate. You know, it's your friend
You-
from
you
primary
know
school
what
that
you're
you
gonna
run
get.
into. Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's very familiar and it's OG. Yeah, I'd say.
I gotta say I won't go top 3, but the Atropo burger is my favorite.
Is that the one with pineapple?
Yep.
Oh,
And
I like the pineapple.
I think it comes with bacon, so take the bacon out.
Yeah.
But, bro,
I don't do the pineapple, unfortunately.
on burgers?
Yeah,
Really?
like we sell it, but it's just if I want a fruit, I'll eat it by itself. You know,
Oh, bro, what?
it's
With
just
chicken?
a bit too much.
No
Oh,
way.
look, I haven't had it with chicken, but anytime I've had it with beef, it's like an unnecessary
Yeah, I haven't had it with beef.
fly on the wall. You know?
I feel like it's very burgerish.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like the Aussie burger.
Yeah. Oh man, the Aussie burgers are worst. And like, even if I make a burger, like just a random burger, whatever on TikTok, you'll get burgers and be like, "It's not a real burger if it's not got bacon." Like, "Oh, where's the bacon? Where's the beetroot and the egg?" Like on every video, and it's like, if I would listen to those comments and make a burger with beetroot and egg every time they commented it, I'd only be making those burgers. It's just,
What's the favorite burger you've ever made?
I've come full circle, and it's literally just the cheeseburger.
That's like one of the first ones you made, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh no, but it's with special sauce instead of the tomato and mustard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. It just works better. The like
No, as
mustard.
in, why is that your favorite?
Oh, so I've eaten that many burgers, made that many burgers, tried everything, but it's like gone back. I don't know. It's just
You're a simple man.
yeah, it's simple. You know, it does the job. Like there's the other burgers are nice, but they're novelty. You know, the cheeseburger is like simple, pickles, onion, special sauce, meat patty, cheese, obviously. I can't really explain it. It was like it's simple, does the job.
If you had to eat one meal that you make for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Do I still have to go to work?
Yeah, your normal life.
I was gonna say pasta. If I could eat pasta all day and like not have to go to work, that'd be my ideal lifestyle.
Have you seen that guy? We won't lose this question, but have you seen that guy, that BJJ guy who eats pizza only?
Mikey Musumeci?
Yeah.
I shook his hand in Singapore.
Really?
Yeah,
What was
I
he
love
there
him.
for? You just saw him?
No, so he lives in Singapore and he trains there at Evolve MMA, and so I knew he was gonna be there, so I rocked up early to class to try and catch him train.
To the BJJ?
Yeah,
You
to
did
the
a class
BJJ.
there?
No, so he doesn't do class. He just like there's the main mat. And he's on the side
yeah.
just doing free rolling.
Would you
with
organise yourself a
randoms.
class there?
But yeah, I'd organise a class there at 11 a.m. and he was there from like 10. So I got in, doing my warm up, doing my drilling, and I'd seen him come in, and I messaged the boys. I'm like, "Oh, he's here." And so I'd done a bit more drilling, walked over, shook his hand. I was meant to ask him for a photo, but I didn't want to interrupt his training because like he just got there, and I didn't want to be like, "Oh, hey man, I love you. I want to take a photo." I was gonna like wait until after he was done because he allegedly trains for like 6 hours straight. So I'm like, all right, so after my class, I'll be like, "Hey man, big fan from Australia. Can I take a photo?" And I'm sure he would have been fine with it. But what ended up happening, we finished the class. Sorry, before the class, I was watching him roll, and he was doing the most weird stuff. Like if you watch how this guy's built and the way he like rolls, he's like built like a child, like the way his limbs move. And I was like watching him and not knowing anything that he was doing. Like it was an insane experience. Like just watching him just dismantle everyone. So anyway, we go through the class, we finish the class, and then he starts leaving while the coach is like giving the final talk. I'm like, no, like,
And you can't leave.
yeah, and like you're meant to like pay
Respect.
attention, line up, everything. And so he ends up leaving, and I was like snapping. I'm like, why is this guy only training for an hour? Turns out he was flying to Korea the next day and needs to leave early. I was stalking this from his Instagram, And he had to go get a haircut and then do all this stuff before leaving to Korea. Ended up meeting another guy, Henrique Almeida. I don't know, Henrique. He's a Brazilian guy, no-gi champion.
Yeah.
Had a chat with him. That was pretty good. But yeah, I was snapping. I didn't get a photo.
For anyone that doesn't know Mikey, he trains all day.
Yeah.
Eats pizza that he makes himself.
Yeah, pretty much. So he'll train like 12 hours a day and go home, make some Italian pizza, and then have acai for dessert before bed.
And that's his diet.
Yeah, and then wake up, run, train, BJJ, eat.
So your meal would be?
Oh, true. One meal. I'm going to put avocado with lemon and like a bit of seasoning on it on sourdough bread, toasted. I have that every morning. And it's probably the best thing ever.
That it?
No, that's just one of them. That's I used to be an avocado hater, but preparing it like that is amazing.
Me too. I think
It's
when
very
you become
good
a man, you just
Yeah,
start
yeah,
eating it.
exactly. You evolve a bit. The next one's got to be a meat. I want to say a nice meat, probably like lamb chops or something, or lamb skewers. So lamb skewers plus like a bit of carbs and then the avocado and then some fruit for dessert.
It's really balanced out.
Yeah. Like, and it sounds boring being all like healthy, but like I've genuinely like learned to enjoy this food.
Yeah.
And like I thrive on it. Like if I eat clean, then I'm not gonna have a crash. I'm gonna feel good. I'm gonna feel energized. But yeah, like I said before, if I have KFC or whatever, I'll drive through. It like shuts me down. I'm like out of it. I don't really have time to be napping and whatever. And then if I nap, I get guilty at myself for napping, and I'm like, oh shit, well, yeah, it's just a downward spiral. So
That's
eating
what
healthy is-
problems.
Yeah, exactly, bro. So, influencer problems as well. Yeah, I'd say that's it. I like having a bit of variety in the meal as well. If it wasn't for work and like performance
Pleasure.
and biohacking and all that stuff, I would have gone for like a pasta, like a lasagna, like a heavy pasta. Like that's I rarely ever eat pasta. It takes a lot of willpower to like say no in the house.
Yeah.
There's some there now. Pasta's probably the favorite.
He's thinking about it when he gets
Bro,
home.
it is so hard. But like, I don't know. I'll treat myself eventually. But for now, I'm enjoying. As well, I am like getting leaner as well. I've lost muscle as I said before, but like I am leaning out and the core's stronger. I do feel a bit more mobile, healthier.
Just in time for summer.
Yeah, exactly as well.
That you're not even going to enjoy because you're going to be in the shops.
if I make it to the beach. But yeah, now we do. Me and my friend, we go sometimes like once a month or so. Go down to Bondi, run shirtless, go for a swim, having a acai bowl. That's something that we do. But then again, it's like another productive meeting. I'm not saying productive as in like the hustle porn stuff. It's like
If you're going to see your friends, you're going to do something good together.
yeah, we're hanging
healthy.
out and we're also getting stuff done. And yeah, that's just the way I like it. Like my friends and family always say, "Oh, it's gonna be worrying when you get a missus or whatever." I'm like, true. But yeah, we'll see. Because like oh, let's go dinner, let's go this, go that. Oh my gosh.
They'll lose a brother.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be hard, but we'll see how that goes.
Where can everyone find you if they don't already know?
Just type in Chebbo on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Chebbo, Chebbo. If you're in Sydney, come down to Chebbo's Burgers. That's Chebbo's Burgers on Instagram. I do have a podcast. It's just something that I do like once a week. Just
Really?
for a laugh. Yeah, but it's not like anything that I pump out. It's like I've got like a small community of followers that just listen. And it's just whatever's on my mind. I'll speak it for like 10 minutes.
On YouTube?
That's it. No, just Spotify and Apple, whatever. Yeah, I'm still getting used to it. There's only like 14 episodes or so.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a little.
What's it called?
Whenever I have time. Chebbo Talk.
Chebbo Talk.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah, I think that's it. I've done a bit of YouTube, but not much. I need to get into it.
And the shops?
Shops, Roselands, 93 Chapel Street, Roselands. And the shop is 308 Victoria Road, Marrickville. Yeah, that's not open yet, but soon.
And go get some FKZ Fuchs Active. If you train,
your brain.
I'll show you my mate's brand. But thank you for coming on. I appreciate
Pleasure,
it.
bro. It was good.
Look forward, maybe do it again one day.
Yeah, easy. When the shop's open.